time I close my eyes.
I love that tune. Big up to everyone. Big up to everyone. Everyone's doing well. The good thing about that tune is that I own it. So anyone plays it, they've got to pay me. But there you go. Big up to everyone. I hope everyone's doing good. This is the call-in show, guys. This is the call-in show where we're going to take your calls in a little bit. What we do, we're going to talk about some stuff first. So we open up the phone lines, guys, and you guys can come in and chat to me and Enzia, and Cav will be with us shortly as well to take your questions, your rants, whatever you need to talk about Liverpool Football Club. The phone lines are there for you to have your say, guys. But big up to everyone. I hope everyone's doing well in the chat. Enz, my man, how you doing?
I'm good, man. As I said to you earlier, man, just been chilling really. I was making a new intro for my Q&A stuff. So, yeah, I was sitting there for hours. It took me 10 minutes to make, and then took me an hour to figure out whether or not I liked it or not. It's crazy, but I'm all good. I'm all good. I hope you're good as well, man.
Yeah, I'm doing all right, man. I'm doing all right. So, guys, from now on, this will be my new sort of time. So, every day of the week, well, Monday to Friday anyway, I'll be at 12:30 and 6 p.m. 2 videos every day, Monday to Friday. And then Saturday and Sundays will be the football watch-alongs and match reactions and all that good stuff as well. So, they're my times now, guys. This is the new schedule kicking off today. So, yeah, 12:30 in the afternoon and then 6 p.m. every single night. So, big up to everyone in the chat. Thank you very much for joining us for another blast about Liverpool Football Club, the team we love to hate. Or the hate to love, whatever way you want to put it.
Whatever way you want to put it. Whatever way you want to put it.
So, first off, let's talk about this bit of news first off. We spoke about it a bit earlier on, but anyone who weren't listening, let's talk about this right now. Oxlade-Chamberlain and Naby Keita look like Jurgen Klopp wants to give them new deals in. So I spoke about this yesterday on last night's stream, actually, about the midfield situation. And in 2 years' time, who would you rather keep as rotation squad players? Thiago or Keita or Henderson and Milner, right? And they're the four I picked. And then this morning, I've seen news that then Jurgen Klopp is thinking about keeping Keita and Ox.
Right.
I think Ox is the first reason because you do need British squad registration in the team, don't you?
Yeah.
So if they're looking at it and thinking, right, we go buy foreign players, so we need that British quota, I can understand why they give Ox a new contract. Keita, I said this as well with Naby. Now, again, I will get shot down for this, but shoot me down. We paid £55 million for Naby Keita. Is it the right thing to do for spend 55 million on a player who's actually quite a talented footballer when he's fit, and then let him go for free?
Yeah, that's a madness.
So, do you? there's a situation where Liverpool. I said this at the beginning of the season, by the way. I said to people at the beginning of the season, are Liverpool let go of Bobby for free, Milner for free, Caicedo for free, and Ox for free all in one season?
I doubt that, man. I doubt it. I think 3 of them probably, but not all 4. Maybe 2. You might. This is the issue though, because obviously I would prefer them to get a contract knowing that we could sell them, so we can gain some value in terms of a sale instead of losing them for free. So I could understand giving them a contract for that. But if we're giving them a contract in the idea of keeping them and actually playing them, then yeah, that's a madness. I just want to know where this news come from, because this can't be true. It must be some sort of speculation. It could be someone trying to troll Liverpool fans. It could be some banter somewhere, but there's no way you're telling me Jurgen Klopp has decided he wants to give Naby Keita and Ox a new deal. If he is going to give them a new deal, then cool, but you're doing it so we can secure some value and then sell them. But if you're giving them to play them, then
right. Let's look at it from a business point of view. Keita costs 55 million, Ox costs 40 million. What's that? 95 million combined costs for 2 midfield players that you're going to let leave for free for now at the end of the season. Business wise, don't make sense.
No.
Business wise, you want to make some money back on them. So do you give them 2-year deals? Do you give Ox a 2-year deal? Keita maybe a 3-year deal, right? And and then after a year of that deal, then you sell them for a little bit of money. You're not going to make anywhere near back, obviously, what you spent on them, but you make a little bit of money back. Because spending 95 million on 2 players, then selling them and then letting them go for nothing, business-wise, is mental.
So the other thing is it's about their contracts as well, because obviously we can save some money with not giving them a new deal. Because I think Oxy's Wazy on 150 and Naby's probably on the same. So already there, that's 300,000 that we could, give to someone else if we get in a top midfielder. That frees up that kind of money. But if we're going to do that, I'd rather us just give them a deal and then just sell them in the same summer. I don't know if that's a possibility, but look, if we're going to lose them for free, man, we just have to lose them for free. Obviously, with the British quota, if we're getting rid of Ox, we need a British player in. Obviously, the link is Bellingham. Whether or not that happens, I think it should be something we should be concentrating on, because I think what we spoke about previously about how Virgil revamped the defense. I think Jude can come in and do the same thing to the midfield, and then obviously getting more players, not just a Jude Bellingham, getting other midfielders that can come in and help out as well. But Ox is on the way out. Naby, to be fair, he has looked like, since he's been back from that injury, he has looked like he wants to play for Liverpool. Whether or not he's playing for a move, so he's putting himself in the shop window like, I've still got it, so that's why he's performing. Maybe that's what he's doing, but nah, man, that news you're telling me can't be true. I'm not willing to believe that's true, honestly. No, Bobby, I can understand though.
Yeah, Bobby, I think we can all understand. Bobby, for me, no, look, if we're going to keep any of them, for me, it would be Bobby. I still think Bobby is very big for this side. It's an important part of this side. You see when he plays, man, he's still the system when he plays. I think that's what Klopp mentions. When Klopp was talking the other day in his press conference about, it's not just a midfield problem. Buying midfielders ain't going to solve the problem. It's, everywhere else around the team. When Bobby plays, look at him 2 games before we went to the World Cup, yeah? Bobby was the one that playing up top. Salah and Nunez left and right. And we played really well. I think we scored goals in that game. We controlled the games better in that game, them 2 games before the World Cup as well. And I honestly believe, I keep saying this, I don't think Salah looks the same player when Bobby ain't playing.
Obviously, we're so used to what Salah
Bobby creates the space.
Does, isn't it?
He creates the space.
We're used to seeing that. So obviously, with Bobby not in the team, it's kind of, we have to learn how to play with Darwin up there. He's not going to do what Bobby does.
No.
Bobby's a different type of player. He's a special player that causes problems. Because he doesn't sit with the back line. He normally picks up little pockets in the 10 row and then creates from there and allows Salah to do what he wants to do. So I get it, but at the same time, Salah he's a top player, and he should be able to take games by the scruff of the neck and do what he needs to do. So we can't really say if Bobby doesn't play, he should know how to play. It should be like Mo Salah, you're meant to be world class. You need to go and show us why you're world class, not relying on other players playing to turn up kind of thing.
No, I agree, man. I agree. I mean, like Wayne says here as well with Ox is a utility player like Milner, probably a rolling 1-year contract as he's homegrown. That is a good point as well. He is a bit of a utility player at the moment. You know, he is playing mostly. This is the one I love, though. This is what I love about our club, right? So Elliot is more of a right-sided midfielder or right winger, right? And he plays in midfield. Ox is more of a central midfielder, plays in the wide forward areas. It is very. It's very much asked about face at the moment, right? At why we're not playing players in their right positions, but that is something Klopp might look at with Ox. He can play in central midfield. He can play in left wing. He can play in right wing. Now, with the homegrown factor, that one, I wouldn't be shocked if I woke up tomorrow morning and it said Liverpool put a contract on the table for Oxlade-Chamberlain. It actually wouldn't. It wouldn't shock me if that, because I could understand the reasons behind it. But man, if we're putting all their eggs in one basket for Jude Bellingham, and that's the homegrown player, and we go and get other players as well, then I haven't got a problem. I know this club, man. I know this club. We go and get Jude Bellingham. We ain't buying anyone else. Which is when I said yesterday, if there's a scenario that Ox leaves, Bobby leaves, Caicedo leaves, and Milner leaves, and we only buy Jude Bellingham next summer, are we better off or worse off than we are now?
That's a tough question, bro. Because we're.
That's what I'm saying, though. But are we going to be better off or worse off?
Look, if Ox could stay fit and if Naby could stay fit, we got two decent players there, and that can make a difference in our team. The problem with them two is just reliability. We can't rely on them. We can see Naby at the moment. He's trying. We know what kind of player he is, and we know there's a player in there. He's just that he can't last the games. He can play well for one game and then be injured for 2 months. Same as Ox. And then all this thing about playing him out of position, you're right. I don't understand why Ox is being played as a left forward when he's a centre midfielder. So will we be worse off if we let them go? Possibly, yeah. But at the same time, in the last 5 years, can you say we relied upon them?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? So either way, man, it's just I'd rather us just go and get some fresh blood, man. Get some new players in, give someone else a chance, because I get we want to try and keep the English quota, but I'm pretty sure there must be someone else out there, and we can go and get to replace Ox and replace Naby.
Yeah, there's got to be, ain't there? There's got to be, as you say. But look, big out Chamber, it's just Curtis Jones will be 22 this month and will count as homegrown. That is true. But I still don't think we've got enough homegrown players, though. That is the problem. But look, if Milner's going and Ox is going, that's 2 down. So we definitely need to bring one in anyway. So that's the way I'm thinking there. No matter what, we have to bring in a homegrown. Because if Milner's leaving, Ox is leaving. Who else is there?
When like Harvey Elliott, then once he turns 20, wouldn't he then just be classed? Because at the moment, I think if you're
21,
under a certain age,
21, under 21, aren't it? Yeah, under 21. He's only 19, so he's got like 18 months yet. So we have to get that quota in. At the moment, I don't actually think we've got that quota right now, in a way. So, personally, I don't know who we're going for. Caicedo looks like he could be going. Look, let me talk about Chelsea for a second. So I've been with people on Twitter earlier this afternoon, yeah,
right,
with the Chelsea situation, right? And I look at what Chelsea are doing, all right? And they spent 300 million. And I said it before, earlier on the show. I said, would you rather wasted 300 million or not spent anything at all? Yeah, that's the question I gave, right? It's it's a rhetorical question sort of thing, right? And I asked that in the Twitter verse, right? You shouldn't ask things on the Twitter verse, but I asked it on the Twitter thing. Well, at least it's showing ambition is the thing you get back. And I'm like, cool. It's showing ambition, man. Show all your ambition, man. But the fact is, though, showing ambition, spending money and wasting it is not always ambition. That's not always ambition. Spending money wisely and spending nowhere near. So Liverpool could go out. hypothetical, yeah. Liverpool go out in this January, yeah, and buy a Caicedo, right, for like 60 odd million, yeah. They go and buy him, and they go and buy, I don't know, Amrabat for 40 million, right? So that's like 90 million for them too, yeah, right? And they work for Liverpool because they work in the system Liverpool want to work in, right? And that improves us, and that gets us into that top four. That is showing more ambition than wasting 300 million on players that don't suit what you're doing over there. I mean, Koulibaly is just, if they bought him 3 or 4 years ago, top-notch defender, he's washed. You know, Sterling, I think Sterling was just a weird bit of business because you're buying Sterling without a striker, and we all know Sterling works best off a proper number 9. You know, I remember talking to Daps, you know, the City fan, big up the Daps, and he was saying the same thing. He's saying he couldn't understand Chelsea buying him and then letting Lukaku go, because Lukaku and Sterling would have worked really well off each other, you know, because it's Sterling. So it shows ambition, but if you don't get it correct at the same time, then you've got a big hole in it. And I don't know if anyone's noticed, but has anyone actually gone and looked at the size of Chelsea's actual squad they have available? It's the biggest in the league.
Yeah, they've got a lot of players, and they've got a lot that's out injured as well.
Yeah, and they're 10th. So what I think the players that will be good for Chelsea, I think Nkunku will probably be next season their best bit of business they've done under Bowley, especially for the prices coming in for. And this João Felix thing, so everyone's got their dicks erect for João Felix, right? Yeah, and they've got João Felix at Chelsea already. His name's Kai Havertz, right? And where's João Felix playing? Is he just taking Kai Havertz's space? Because or is he taking Sterling's spot?
No, because I watched the game yesterday. We did the watch along yesterday on Savage's channel, and he was playing as a 2 up top. So he has the ability to play either wing up top or in the 10 role. So it just depends on where they want to play him. But he's very good, man. Watching him play yesterday, he's a top young player, man. And whoever gets him, if it's Chelsea, if it's Arsenal, or if it's Man United, but you know, they're getting a top player. So I don't think it's a bad piece of business. It's Chelsea, and I don't know where they're going to put him. I honestly couldn't tell you where they're going to play him.
This is my thing. I'm not the biggest João Felix fan either, right? I know people are like, they love João Felix and all that because they saw 5 minutes of him play, right? I'm not a big João Felix fan. Everyone tells me it's not João Felix's fault. It's the system he plays in under Diego Simeone, right? I was like, class. All right, if that's the case, how did Suarez become top goal scorer in the whole of Spain playing under Simeone's rule? He wasn't top goal scorer for he actually won the Golden Boot at Atletico Madrid. How did Griezmann become the world-class talent that he is under Simeone? Right? Sometimes I think we how did Koke be this blinding midfielder? Right? How did Thomas Partey, who was excellent, get a good move to Arsenal? Why do we always go, because we like a certain player, because the football fanverse, the football FIFA world, right? This generation loves a certain player, techie, skillful, certain kind of player, right? And that's what João Felix is. Then they all decide he's actually world class. It's just the tactics and the manager at his club are not getting the best out of him. I say sometimes that could be the case, but sometimes maybe that player just ain't as great and as good as everyone believes he is. Now, for me, I don't think João Felix is a shit player or anything like that. I just think he's a very good footballer. I think people have overhyped him too much. And coming to Chelsea, he might kick the ground running. He might be the thing they need in their team to get them going again, And he might get in that team, score a hat-trick on debut, and just be brilliant up till the end of the season. He very well could be, because he does have that talent. He also could go hiding, because this is a loan deal with no option to buy. This is a loan deal with no option to buy, by the way. Are you going to get 100% concentrated João Felix at Chelsea when he knows in 6 months' time he'll go back to Spain and probably look for a move somewhere else? It's a weird transfer for me.
I'll touch on it for you. So in terms of the Simeone thing, when João Felix moved, from Portugal to Spain. Obviously, he had the option. I think it was between them and Barcelona. But obviously, Simeone at the time, Atletico Madrid, coughed up the money for him. I think it was near enough 100 million. At that time, he was one of the best young players in the world. Skillful, pace. He had the IQ. The IQ level was really good. He can shoot on both feet. Football looked easy for him. Obviously, going to play for a manager like Simeone, there will be points in your career where that gets beaten out of you. And you can see that. He doesn't enjoy his football at the moment. He's been on the bench quite a few times last season. Even the start of this season, he's been on the bench as well. So I don't think it's more the player this time around, but I get it. It can be the player and it also can be the club. But I think this time around, I think it's just the manager. So I think if he comes to a team like Chelsea where maybe the shackles are off of him, he's able to play in a position where he's more comfortable, we'll probably see the best of him. I'm not saying he's going to come here and light the Premier League up, but he has the quality too, if played in the right positions and if you get the right, you squeeze the right juices out of him, because he's a top player, man. And Simeone is the type of manager, if you're not doing what he's asked you to do, and if you're not going to play within that system, confines to that system, you won't play. So I think on this point, I think it's probably Simeone's fault more than it is the player's fault.
But then the player shouldn't have gone.
That's the thing. When you're that young and you make that move, obviously you're getting paid that money. It was an option. And I think it was more, he looked at where would he start and where could he play more. And at the time, it was more Atletico Madrid. Because
Atletico Madrid are a huge team in Spain. That's right. They're the third biggest team in Spain. But wait, with João Felix, I know a lot of people are saying they look at his character as well. Has he got that character? Because I don't think he was great at the World Cup either. I'm going to say it right now. I don't think he was that great at the World Cup either. And he was playing in a position that apparently suits him best. I didn't think he was that great. Now, undoubtedly, like you said, he is a very good footballer. I just don't know where. It looks like Chelsea at the moment are just like, right, Felix is on for loan. Yeah, Atletico Madrid, he's up for loan. Let's just go and give. Their transfer policy at the moment is absolutely balmy. Last week, they were in for, is it Mudryk, who's going to Arsenal or whatever? Apparently, because talks broke down there, they're like, oh, let's go and go after him as well. Enzo Fernandez, they heard Liverpool were after him. They went, let's go for Enzo Fernandez as well. And now, like, João Felix, they're like, oh, he's an option. Let's go and get him as well. It's like they're going for players with no idea where to play them when they get it.
Man United do the same thing and Chelsea do the same thing. They've always done it. Remember when we went after Willian, we went after Mo Salah. I'm pretty sure there's a few more. As soon as we offered for them, these guys just jumped in and paid the money. They never really understood and why we wanted them. It's just that we can stop the opponents from getting it. I think they're still in for Mudryk. I don't think that one's kind of dead in the water yet. I just think he obviously wants to go Arsenal, but it's whether or not he coughs up the 100 million. Is he worth 100 million? Hell no.
I've never really. I'm not even going to lie. I'm not going to sit here and lie to anyone. I've barely seen him play, so I can't rate him. I've barely seen him play, so I can't rate him. I don't know what he's worth.
Most of the fan bases and the Arsenal fan bases, mate, none of them actually watched him play, and I'll be the first to tell you that. It's just people have gone as soon as they hear your link with a player. Most fans, what they do, they go on YouTube. And YouTube doesn't tell you what a player is like because they're only going to get the best bits of the player and show you. You have to go and watch these players play, man. And this is the issue. Yeah. So Arsenal are like, oh, yeah, we should just buy him for 100 mil. And I'm like, but you guys have probably never sat and watched 2 full games of it.
No.
Do you know what I mean? So it just is what it is.
It's the FIFA. I don't like saying it, right? Because people do get upset with this, right? Especially the younger guys. And I can understand it. If I was younger, I'd get upset with it as well. But it is the FIFA generation. It is because they will look at him and he's probably got a gold card on FIFA. Do you know what I mean? And it's that, oh, he must be amazing. It's the football manager, the FIFA thing now, where they're like, oh my God, his stats are amazing. You know, he's got a gold card on FIFA. He must be great. So people just get it into the head that they've, do you know what it is? People actually get it into their heads now that they believe they've watched him play. I mean, they've got it in their head so much. I have watched him. I've watched him so many times. So you've been watching Russian and Ukrainian football. Okay, big up. Because I don't think there's been much Ukrainian football for the last year with a certain war going on. So congratulations to you. You're getting behind closed doors footage. Well done. It's just, it's mad. You know what I mean? It's mad. Now, I don't know if he's a good player. I can't rate him because I've barely seen him play. He could be £100 million player for all I know, or he could be a £10 million player. It's like Enzo Fernandez went to Benfica this summer for 10 million, and now people are trying to buy him this month for 120. That markup is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And by the way, he was all right in the World Cup. I don't think his market value should have gone from 10 million to 120 million for his performances in the World Cup. I don't think they were that high up. He was good, don't get me wrong, but he weren't like, oh my God, what a player.
It's these release clauses, man. These countries are putting in players' contracts, and most people, look, who are we to say is not valued at that now? Because they put it in there. Obviously, they put it in there to stop people coming in straight away for him. But at the end of the day, he's now won a World Cup. So now the 100 million is now justified to them. They're like, well, he's a World Cup winner. And we're like, well, we don't care. We just want to buy him. That's how it is these days, man. If you go to the Spanish league, if you look at most of their players, they're on like 300, 400, 500 million buyout clauses. Yeah. Like it's stupid, man. But
we've done the same. Look, Darwin Nunez. Look, I'm not even going to sit here and pretend I watched Darwin Nunez a lot last season. When we was linked to him, I remember me and Savage were sitting there talking about Darwin, and we both said the only times we've seen Darwin really play last season, is when we played in the Champions League twice, and when Benfica were playing in the Champions League, we were watching him games. Apart from that, we never watched Darwin play, right? And again, everybody in the chats on Twitter were like, shit, we need to go and get Darwin. He's a baller. Let's go and get him, right? And then we paid probably too much money for him. Looking at it right now, in 2 or 3 years' time, we could have paid a bargain for him. We don't know. Football's a weird thing how it works, you know. So it's the same everywhere, guys. It's literally the same. But it's just mad the way football is at the moment. And I look at Chelsea with Felix, and I'm like, where does he fit in this team? Because Timo Werner, Jesus Christ. Who, by the way, is a good player. I'd have had him at Liverpool. So Sterling's playing on the one wing. I think it's Mason Mount playing on the other wing. And then you got Kai Havertz through the middle, ain't you? Or I think Kai Havertz plays off one wing if Aubameyang's playing in the middle and Sterling off the other one. That is shambolic. That is a terrible front three with no organisation, no chemistry, nothing. That is Primark FC up front. That is terrible, you know. So if they get João Felix in, when I look at João Felix, if I remember rightly, he plays off the left, don't he? Usually.
So for instance, yesterday he played against Barcelona. They played with a 4-4-2, Atletico Madrid, and he played up front with Griezmann. So he can play right, he can play up front 10, and then left side. So just wherever you feel you need him, really. I think they'll probably put him more as a forward. If Chelsea keeps with the formation, what they've been going with the 5-2-3.
Yeah, they play 3-5-2, 5-3-2, don't they?
Yeah, so they'll probably play him as the centre, and then if Sterling's fit, because remember Sterling got injured in that game, didn't he? So he's probably, I don't know what his injury thing looked like, and who else? Pulisic got injured in the same game as well, didn't he? So
maybe that's why they went for it. Maybe Sterling's injury is worse than they thought, and Pulisic, is always injured. So maybe that's the thing. Maybe they go play him off the left in a free or put him up top. It's just it's a weird one because you look at Kai Havertz. For me, a player like Kai Havertz has got away with murder for 2 years. I can't believe he never gets criticised. I literally can't believe I'm watching a player. Darwin must have as many goals as Kai Havertz has had in 2 seasons, right?
Yeah.
And Kai Havertz gets away with it all the time. Literally all the time. I never see compilations of Kai Havertz on Twitter or Facebook or people talking about Kai Havertz or anything like that. It's like he's just allowed to get away with being absolutely bang average. And I don't get it.
Do you know what it is, though, Jamie? Is because the reason why he can is because the Chelsea fans, you won't see them on, I wouldn't say all of them, but I would say 99% of them, probably the 1% you'll say he's poor. The rest of them don't really mind. They actually think he's good and he's been playing well for them. So it's just us because say this year, we've been highlighting too much from our team. So we're highlighting too much about Darwin, and we're also letting other fan bases talk about him as well, where we should just be shutting that down because he's not doing too bad. I get the misses and stuff like that since the last 3 games he played, just after the World Cup, and he missed a few chances, and everyone's just been on his back. But prior to that, he wasn't playing bad.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
don't-
It's weird, man. It's just weird.
I mean, when I look at Kai Havertz, I always look at him. I think for Bayer Leverkusen, they played that 4-1-4-1 formation, didn't they? And he sort of played behind the striker.
It's a 10, he played on the right wing.
Yeah, in that shadow striker formation. But Chelsea seem to just can't get the best out of him. And when I look at João Felix, yeah, they're not the same player, really, but they sort of play the same role in what they want in this Chelsea team. So I'm like, so you got 70 million Kai Havertz there. Are you giving up on him for a 6-month loan of João Felix from Atletico Madrid? That makes no sense to me whatsoever. And if I was a Chelsea fan, I would actually be asking that question, because you got João Felix for 70 mil, yeah, you've had for 2 years now. Are you just giving up on him for a geezer coming in for 6 months on a loan who's going to be on high, whatever, you know, going to probably pay a lot of his wages and that to take over Felix? How does Kai Havertz feel about that? He's like, this geezer's here for 6 months. What? It's like,
but that's the life of a footballer, though, isn't it, Jay?
Yeah, it's a weird fucking.
If someone comes in, you can either do one or two things. You can sulk about it or buck your ideas up. So it's down to him, really. Does he want to sit there and sulk and say someone's coming in to take my position, or does he go, do you know what? I need to buck my ideas up and then let me get on my game again. Which obviously I wanted us to play them before they started signing good players. To be fair, so
is he a goal scorer?
He's more of a, so when he was at Bayer Leverkusen, the problem is he was an attacking midfielder / say right winger. Really quick, great left foot. He was very creative, and then he came to Chelsea, and it's like when you come to the Premier League and you go and play under certain managers, it's like they beat the creativity out of you. It's like, no, you must play my way or the highway. You never really carry on being the player that you are. He was an elusive player at Bayern, and then Bayer Leverkusen. Now,
oh my
God, it's turned into some. It turned into some. I don't know, man.
Oh my God.
What's up?
Oh my God. Oh my God. So there's some breaking news. Liverpool trying to get Willock from Newcastle.
Is that the one I just saw? Because I saw someone in the comments. I thought it was just man trying to.
Oh my God. Apparently Liverpool are looking at Willock at Newcastle. What the fuck is going on?
No, that can't be true.
Why are we buying another forward? What are we?
No, but Willock is more of a centre. He can play in the three,
can't he?
Yeah.
So apparently that's who we're looking at. What the fuck
Newcastle
is
ain't,
going on?
Newcastle ain't selling him.
What is going on? What is going on?
And so homegrown.
Homegrown, you know. Oh, yeah. So you got to laugh, guys. If this actually happens, this club. I've been telling everyone, though. I keep telling everyone. Liverpool go buy players in January we were never linked to. I was right with Gakpo, and I'm going to be right with Willock. All these players we've been linked to all year, right? Oh, we linked to this player, we linked to that player. And I said it weeks ago. Watch when January comes round. Liverpool buy one or two players. I think Savage was with me. We were talking about it. That Liverpool were never linked to anywhere on social media. Oh, fuck's sake. It better be fake news. That's all I'm saying. But the problem is, I would usually say this is fake news and bullshit, right? But Willock suits Liverpool's transfer policy model. That's why I'm a bit like, the
only issue with that one, I don't know if his dad would want him to make that move. So great thing. I know all three of them in terms of the brothers, and I don't think he would want to move to Liverpool, especially.
No, I don't think it happens
when he's at Newcastle and he's actually playing well. It's not like he's in the
decent player, as you say, but it's just not what we need right now. And look, it's probably just all bullshit and paper talk and stories, but I thought I'd just bring it because it's all over Twitter at the moment, and I was like, reports suggest new Genie replacement based on stats. Let me read this out. It's on the This Is Anfield website, by the way. And if anyone knows the guys at This Is Anfield, their website's top notch. They get quite a lot of good stories on there and stuff like that. So they try only put things on there that are quite linked. So apparently they're saying with Liverpool midfield basically shit. Without a replacement for Gini, an interesting like-for-like alternative now emerged. During the rest difficult season under Klopp, the focus rightly central on the midfield. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Liverpool have not signed a first-team midfielder since Thiago, and the Spaniard is only the new arrival in the middle of the park since Fabinho and Naby Keita 4 years ago. In that time, Ronaldo has departed for PSG and is now on loan at Roma. They're saying this, and this report is from the Athletic as well. So the report is from the Athletic. They're pinpointing. So basically, they're saying they're saying is that the stats show that Willock, what he's done at Newcastle, is very similar. I get what they're saying here. So they're saying this, what Willock's done at Newcastle is very, very similar to what Gini did at Newcastle, right? Very, very similar sort of stats, the way he plays, the position he plays in, yeah? And we went and bought, obviously, Gini from Newcastle, changed him up a little bit, and he became vital to everything we did. So I can see what they're saying, but yeah, it's just, it has to be, hopefully all. I
might be clutching at straws now, man. I can't see. I can't see why that would make. Look, maybe they're just doing that comparison thing and then saying, "Oh yeah, Newcastle, Gini, same stats, maybe moves, and then Klopp can change him." Now, we need to be thinking higher than that. To be fair, man, we need to be getting top quality midfielders in. If we want to start competing again, we can't be going to get Willock. With all due respect. You have to be going to get top midfielders to start competing again.
I agree. Qatar Sports Investment are considering a full takeover or investing in a stake in the top Premier League club. And Liverpool are one of the main targets. Also, I think Spurs are one of the main targets as well. With the Spurs and look, with all the links to that, look, at the end of the day, they can't own two football clubs fully, 100%, because it goes against FIFA guidelines. But what they can do, they can put a 5% investment into a club. But still, if they put a 5% investment in a club, the team will spend the money, but it's up to the team that's spending the money still to sign the players they want. You know, the investor have got they can't tell them, right, this money's for blah, blah, and then Tottenham or Liverpool just go, you know what, yeah, you say that, but this is who we're going to use to get the money with. So, yeah, the investment thing, I'd rather just a full takeover, to be fair, and then they can do what they fucking well want. Sell PSG and come to Liverpool.
That would be a good idea.
Sell PSG and leave Mbappe there, because I don't want a sporting director as a footballer. Gen LFC, big up to you for your super chat. Big up, guys. Can I ask, are we signing a midfielder? And surely they get shot of Naby at Knox. Are we signing a midfielder ends? I think we do. I think it'll be the last few days of the transfer window and maybe on deadline day. But I do think we get a midfielder.
I hate doing things like that, though, Jamie, man. Look, we have the whole of January and then we wait till the last day or the last week to sign a player when we got games in January. That don't make sense to me.
I know. It's happening, though. That's the thing. It's happening. I do think we will sign. We have. In fact, we have to.
Is it more you want to, or do you think they will? Because
I actually think they will. I think they will. It might not be a permanent signing. It might just be a loan signing. But I
already have a loan signing.
Yeah, get fucking another one in. Get someone who's fit this time. Go and ask Borussia Dortmund if we can loan, one of their players that ain't being used at the moment. So there's players the thing that annoys me is there's so many good players out there that actually don't cost that much money that you could go and just pick up, But I think we will get one in, but it might not be one everyone rates. This is the thing. We might get a midfielder in that everyone's like, oh, I'd rather we didn't buy one now. I think it could be something like that. That's what it could be. But then again, if Ox and Keita stay fit past January, they could be like, you know what, them two are still fit, decent footballers. Why do we need a midfielder?
That's the mindset normally of Klopp, man. We got enough midfielders. Why not? But I think it's not even just the midfield, man. It's the team in general, bro. We ain't playing as a team. I was talking to Savage today as well about. I think it's the fan base as well, because I was like, the energy that we're going to games with in terms of the fans, bro. We're not giving the players nothing. And I get people are going to say, well, the players have to give us something. But at the same time, we turn up to games and let's just make sure they know that we're here to support them and make sure the away fans can shut up and make sure the away team know they're in Anfield. At the moment, everyone's coming there taking pictures, walking on the grass, smiling. That would never happen before. Last season, no one was coming there. They was even scared to leave the changing room because they already was defeated. This season, the people are coming, smiling up, taking photos with fans, taking pictures around the stadium. I think the fan base needs to get back to that as well as the players.
Anfield's become Disneyland, don't it? That's what it's become. Big up Jamrock. Chelsea has spent 700 million in the last 3 years and only a Champions League. That's mad. 700 million. The money they've wasted. Guys, so the link is in the chat right now for anyone who wants to come in and call in and have their say. You can come in, guys. If you don't want to put your face on camera, no worries, guys. I know it can be a bit nervy coming on to things like this. And so if you don't want to put your face on camera, no problem. All I ask is that if you come on, just show a bit of respect, be polite, have your say, go bar me. If you want to have a 3-minute rant, have a 3-minute rant. We'll sit back and listen to you. If you've got questions you want to ask us your questions, guys. But yeah, everyone's can come on. If you don't want to put the camera on, not a problem, okay? Because I do understand people get a bit,
it's not for everyone sometimes, isn't it?
Exactly. You got a face like me and ends. Camera's our friend,
Listen, I used to be nervous as well when I first started doing the YouTube thing, but it kind of gets easier after a while, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Just conversations with good people, really, isn't it? So it's all good.
Right, let's get this. Cav should be here soon as well. Let me see if Cav's in the building. He should be here soon anyway. So we've got some people. Let's get Dan in. Right now. Big up the Dan.
Big up Dan.
Hey guys, how are you guys doing?
How are you,
good, my man?
Yeah, really good. I have to get some things off my chest.
Go ahead.
Go for it, mate. Go for it.
Man, okay. I don't understand this thing about. So we can't sign any players because you have the homegrown thing and the quota and all that. Calvin Ramsey is homegrown. Carvalho is homegrown. Kelleher is homegrown. Not just Hendo and Milner and all those guys, So that's not an excuse. And also, what the fuck is this about? Oh, we can't cancel player contracts. Every other club in our position that wouldn't get top 4 at the end of the season would definitely cancel Ox's contract or Naby's contract or Adrian's contract. And even if it means paying their wages and they're not even on the bench, not even in the team, it still means you can get in a player and secure more money next year by getting top 4. Why the fuck are we the only club that will penny pinch and not do that, not make that decision? So that's the first thing I want to say, right?
Yeah.
The second thing is the whole situation about Nkunku. So Nkunku is a player that I've actually been watching for some time. And you know how you were saying, Jamie, how, these people, they don't even watch the games and then they say, oh, he has great stats and stuff. I have been watching Nkunku, right? And he's a phenomenal player. He is a phenomenal player. And he's like Bellingham. I've been crying for Bellingham for 2 years almost now. And a lot of Liverpool fans were like, no, he's not worth 80 million, 100 million. And every season, his value has just gone up by 20, 30 million because, when you watch the games, and I watched a lot of Dortmund, you just see he's one of those once-in-a-generation type players. So that's the other thing I wanted to say. Nkunku, we are going to regret not signing him for 50 million. He can play across all front 3 positions. He's fast. He's technical. I honestly don't know if we're not going to regret signing Gakpo. And I completely believe in the guy, 100%, absolutely. But to think that we missed out on Nkunku, I don't know what your guys' thoughts is. If you could elaborate on that, that would be great. But I think that is going to come around and bite us in the ass because I think that Chelsea will absolutely love having Nkunku in their team.
Great. That's true, man.
Great, Dan, some great questions, my man. Absolutely great questions. What we're going to do, we're going to get you off now, and then we're going to answer them questions the best we can
Thanks
for you,
my friend. Me, guys. First
no
time
worries, my
I'll
man.
be on again.
Big up to you. Big up to you. Welcome, Cav, into the channel. Cav, you all right, man? On the panel.
Evening, fellas. Nice to meet you.
Man.
First time caller.
Yeah.
Got a few points on the mate.
Chelsea.
It's a bit nerve-wracking when you do it the first time,
know.
but you'll be
Yeah,
all
I'm
right,
shaking.
man.
I'm
It's
shaking.
You'll be
all
all
right.
right.
It's all right.
Uh,
I know. When it was my first time, she apologised to me, so it was all good.
What?
But so Liverpool. So he's asking about the homegrown things. Big up, Dan. It's a great question. So right, out of the 23 sets, so I got this up while he was talking about it. Out of the 23 senior players, senior players, 7 are classed as homegrown. They are Captain Jordan Henderson, James Milner, Trent, Nathaniel Phillips, Joe Gomez, the Ox, and Queven Kelleher. There are homegrown players. I think the others can't be registered homegrown till they're over the age of 21, I believe. Things like this keep changing. There you go, Jamrot says we have 7. I think they're the 7 I just put out. Who is this newbie? Yes. Yeah, so that question there. The Nkunku one, it's a great question as well, isn't it, guys? Because I think Liverpool were interested in Nkunku, got offered Nkunku, if our memory serves me right, but Liverpool decided to go for Darwin Nunez instead, didn't they? So,
Look, it's easy for everyone to say it, but we don't know that until the club says something about it. I guess speculations, it's going to be speculations until it's proven right. Maybe Nkunku goes to Chelsea and then they question him and say, do you know I was and they didn't want me, so I'm here. Then we can shed some light on that. But at the time, I think we was going to a space where we wanted to go with a striker. And Nkunku is not an out-and-out striker. He's more of a creative forward. Yes, I rate the guy highly. But it's just what they were looking for at the time, innit? I don't think they was thinking about replacing Bobby. I think he would have been a perfect Bobby replacement, but we still had Bobby at the time, man. So I don't know, but it's speculations, man. Unless the player comes out and says so, or the club says something about it, then I'll believe it.
yeah, exactly. And Cav, I know you're a massive Nunez fan, so you're happy in a way.
Yeah, exactly that. Like, I'm not going to deny that Nkunku looks a really good player, and I can see why people like him because he's got very similar traits to like Bobby when he was at his best. You know, can drop deep, can play that sort of play the false 9 role, but sort of drifts around and things like that. But Darwin Nunez, for me, I think he's got bags of potential. I think he's going to be a fantastic player. Like we've all spoke about so many times, he's playing well despite Liverpool being terrible, despite getting terrible service, despite, not speaking the language and all of these things. He's still got 10 goals in 23. He's the only guy at the minute I actually watch the game and look forward to actually seeing, and have a little bit of hope that he's going to do something. So first season as well, I think this guy's going to be absolutely amazing. And I think we should maybe assess this at the end of next season when Nkunku's been at Chelsea for a year and Darwin's obviously been with us for a couple of years, and we look at the players that they are and their output. I think we'll be having a conversation when it's all said and done about and thinking that Nunez was the right buy. It's just Liverpool aren't very good at the minute, so it looks a bit like it's a mismatch, but I don't think it is.
No, I mean, look, as you say, I agree with you. Darwin Nunez in the next 3 or 4 years, I know Enz is a big fan as well. In the next 3 or 4 years, Darwin Nunez could just look like a bargain. Where, rating a player off 6 months of in a brand new country at a brand new club, I think it's a bit harsh. I really do, because, we would have to do that for all players if it's the case. I spoke about Kai Havertz just a minute ago. He's been at Chelsea for like 2 and a bit years now, I think, and he's not done nothing. I think I can judge him now. It's like, but yeah, Timo Werner. I actually think Timo Werner done better at Chelsea than Kai Havertz. There you go. I'm going to say it right now. I actually think Timo Werner, while he was at Chelsea, did more and better for Chelsea than Kai Havertz did. It's because Kai Havertz got the winning goal in the Champions League final. That's why everyone wanks him off. Apart from that, I think I think Timo Werner actually did a better job. There you go. Come and shoot me down, guys.
The thing is, like with Havertz, though, is I think he could be a brilliant player. I think he could be really good. Like, he's tall, he's strong, like he's got great balance. He retains the ball quite nicely, and he's one of them players that when you see him run with the ball, they do it in such a way where you're like, yeah, they're a bit smooth with it. But he's not really set the world alight, and when you go for 90 million to Chelsea, there's a big expectation that comes along with that, and I don't think he's met that expectation. But more for him for going to a club, you know, as a forward, or going to Chelsea as a forward, because that's what happens.
Jesus.
You know,
Yeah.
I think he'll probably move. I don't think he'll be there for years to come. I think he'll probably move on, and then if he makes the right move and he goes to a club that, you know, plays a style that suits him and players around him that suits him, I think he'll come good. I think he'll be a good player. You know, look at how many people have gone to Chelsea and failed and since revived their careers. You know, we don't need to go through the names.
The moral of the story is don't go to Chelsea. But look, the homegrown thing as well is a weird one as well, because you don't actually have to be English to be homegrown.
You just need to be trained. Just need to be trained by a club in England for 3 years below the age of 21. Yeah.
So I think Stefan Bagitic will be homegrown after he's 21 if he stays in England that time anyway. So Stefan Iniesta will be 20 when he's 21. I think he'll count as homegrown. I think Carvalho is homegrown. You know, he's Portuguese. But if you're Scottish, you're fucked. You can't be homegrown. It makes no sense. So Ramsey can never actually be homegrown because he's Scottish. And the same with Robbo. I don't think Robbo counts as being homegrown, does he? So, yeah, because he's Scottish. They don't count as being homegrown. But a Spaniard and a Portuguese geezer who's been playing in England for 3 years can be counted as homegrown. It's a rumour has it Oscar Pistorius has been scouted for our midfield. He's killing it. Oh, for fuck's sake. Jesus, guys. Right, let's get Sadiq on. Big up to Sadiq.
Big up, bro.
How you doing, my man?
Hi, Sadiq. Good to see you.
Good to see you, mate. Not too bad. I had about 5 hours sleep after doing the last 2 night shifts. This is my last one when I got 2 days off.
Killer, man.
And I had to do a manager's meeting at 2, so I had to get up. And luckily, it was on Teams, so I could literally just do it on my phone while I'm on the bus on my way into work. So, but just need to get through today and then relax.
Sadiq, what do you do for a living? Or you don't have to share, but
that's all right. I actually work at a waste transfer station.
Okay, cool.
Oh, man.
So I'm a supervisor for there. So basically, all those sort of rubbish trucks that you see driving past with all the crap in it, they'll come here, they'll dump there. It's like literally like watching a flipping Autobot take a shit. Basically, you come see they dump their load, right? We put it in. It goes in the compactor. Once that's all been filled up, we then put it onto a barge, and that barge goes down the River Thames. So I'm literally on the River Thames, having that get sent off to the disposal place where they basically burn it and turn it into fuel.
Ah, okay.
That
sounds interesting.
It's all right. It's all right. In fact, I've got one turn up now, so I'm just going to mute myself 1 second.
Go on, then.
I love it.
While Sadiq's doing that, I'm going to get his prime location. So we get he's going too much away.
I like hearing people's backstories. You know, I'm assuming Sadiq's a Liverpool fan, but I like to see where people live and their backstory. And we probably don't have time, but I like to see how people, you know, got into supporting Liverpool and things like that.
No, it's a good one. We could do that.
You say most been forced into it.
The thing is, if you're around my age, I don't know why we made this decision, because for most of my life supporting Liverpool, we've been a laughing stock. Like, let's make no bones about it. It's only since Klopp's come in that we've actually had some really good times, you know. So yeah.
No, you are right there. Let me show you this as well, guys. I just found this. This is how much we've fallen this season. Look at that. Most wins by a club in 2022. Liverpool won 43 games out of 60 matches in the whole of 2022. That's how much we have fallen.
Yeah, that's unbelievable, really.
That's absolutely mad. 43 wins out of 60. Look at Arsenal, though. 30 wins out of 45. That's why they're doing well this season, because their form has just kept going. Their momentum has kept going. But yeah, you know when Sadiq said about Autobots, I wonder if he hears this when he turns up for work. That would be what I play.
No, I just read one of the comment. Man said Enzi's got the Assassin's Creed Assassin's Creed hoodie on.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed. I love them games. Them games are wicked. Man.
Yeah, and I play it as well still.
Yeah, but
They
did you know
don't.
what? Did you play that? What was the last one? Was it Ragnarok? Is that what it's called? I can't remember. But it's like the open platform one, and you just freaking roam around these villages. Right. It's so long, man. It's so long.
Any open platform game is always going to be long, man.
Yeah. Valhalla, yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's
Valhalla. John knows these things.
Yeah.
I played one game of them. I didn't know there's many sequels. I ain't able to play my PlayStation much no more. I ain't got the time, man. I ain't got the time. I've got games that I haven't unboxed yet that I've had for about 2 years. Not got the time.
Some people should even unbox theirs, to be fair, bro.
Don't be trying to make little slide.
Bro, what's it? I'm just saying.
Oh, you're an Xbox guy, and
nah, I'm a PlayStation guy, but
right.
I don't know what he's on about. Don't listen to him.
What's going on? Let me into it.
It's a Liverpool show. We'll talk about it all the time.
Well, my PlayStation 4 does have Liverpool wallpaper all over it, so that links in. Here he comes.
Here he is. He's back.
Here he is.
Yeah, so I was just watching Optimus Prime do his thing. And this guy had 6 tons, so it's just sort of like there's a lot. Need to make sure it gets compact properly. And when there's big ones like that, if it doesn't go through the compaction and get blocked, and I'm by myself until operative turns up, which is at 9. And if it gets blocked, then I need to shut down the site, run downstairs, sort it out, come back up.
Yeah,
but normally, when I've during the day, if I'm doing a day shift, I've got operatives working with me, so I'm pretty much just up here. So it's quite cushy.
I'm going to ask you a question you must have been asked before.
What's that?
Has there ever been a body in any of these loads?
Not yet. I've only been here 6 months.
Not yet.
I haven't been here long enough.
I'm expecting it, but you know what I mean?
There's got to be a protocol. There's got to be a protocol. You know, on your first day.
Not yet.
During your induction. This is
you know
what
I
you
mean?
do if you see some limbs in there, right?
I love
do you know what I mean? Nah, not yet. But like I said, I've only been here 6 months. A friend. Sometimes it's not even about what you know; it's who you know. Because a friend of mine, he was a manager here, and he basically rang me up one day and said, he needs a supervisor for this place, and if I'm interested. And I was just thinking, nah, I don't know, it's not really me, and I'm quite happy with my last job. Been there like 6.5 years, and then they told me the money, and I'm like, okay, you know what I mean? So
Let's talk.
Yeah, so
that's
how
it works. No,
it's nice. It was nice that he thought of me. You didn't have to. So, and funny enough, now he's left and he's gone into a place of clinical waste. And with clinical waste, what I'm finding out is they deal with like body parts. So, for example, he showed me this thing where it had a tub in it, and in the tub was someone's leg. Do you know what I mean? So. Yeah, that
might not be for me. Some people in the chat are saying, "Can you dispose of some of the players at the minute?" There's been some names thrown in there. I will be.
We're going to drive Oxlade here.
Who deserves disposing though? Really?
Who do you think?
Who do we dispose of? Curtis Jones.
I'll tell you what, that leg you found probably belongs to one of the players.
There's some people who are underperforming, but I don't think there's anyone at the club I despise strong enough.
Yeah, I don't hate any.
Do you know what I mean?
I'll give you that.
There's disappointment, but anyone like, no, you get out of my club. I don't have that sort of malice for anyone.
What about Pep Linders?
Maybe Pep, but he's not a player. Or maybe I could just threaten him with throwing him in there. You see that? You don't sort shit out. That's you, son.
Was it
what's with the Pep Linders smoke? I don't get the Pep Linders smoke. What's been going on with Pep Linders? Why are we giving him so much?
We're just.
It's basically from what I've been hearing. From what I've been hearing, it's sort of like Linders is. We feel like Linders has been set up to take over from Klopp because he's making decisions on transfers. Our style of play has sort of changed. Do you know what I mean? Look at like the midfield. There's none of those legs, intensity. I think I made a joke on Coppis the other day on Friday, just saying, bring back the Brexit Xfield. midfield.
I've been saying
Do you
that
know
as
what I
well. I'd have that now. I'd have it now.
Yeah,
every day of the week.
because you know what I mean. Teams are just playing through us. You know what I mean? Look on the last game when my guy when Nunez came on and literally just played through our midfield. Do you know what I mean? We've become a joke. And I've been a Liverpool fan a long time, and I'm used to being laughed at. Do you know what I mean? But coming out of that and seeing our time finally come and us get that holy grail of the Premier League, win the Champions League, you know, get to back-to-back finals, and start to sort of walk around with my chest held high a little bit, and the ego start feeling good and wear my shirt with pride instead of underneath a hoodie and stuff like that. You know, I've now got to be humbled again, and there's an old saying, you know, get humbled or get humiliated, and right now we're getting humiliated. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
To the point where Arsenal fans are coming out of the woodwork and just giving you the ribs.
So let me put it to you this way, Sadiq, right? What you should never do is take any smoke from any fans that's been non-existent or irrelevant for 5-6 years and only above your team by points. Don't get smoke from these men, bro. They have no leg to stand on. Don't hear it from Man United fans. They haven't won a trophy since 2017. And what we should take smoke from them because they're above us by points in the table. Nah, bro, we ain't hearing that.
It's funny because
I'm coming for Arsenal if they don't win the league. By the way, with the league they've had,
my oldest friend's a Man United guy, and when they beat us I think they beat us in that the preseason game, and then they beat us in the league, and he came out of nowhere and started giving me the biggest smoke. I was like, bro, when my team beat you 4-0 and 5-0 convincingly, did I message you? Was I there stirring the pot? Do you know what I mean? I was like, I found myself, I didn't do this for years. Back in the day, like I'm talking my younger days, I used to get proper pissed off if like Liverpool lost the game, like, tell my missus don't talk to me. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, don't touch me. Do you know what I mean? I've learned to sort of let go of that stuff now because it doesn't do me any good. So I mean, so I'm getting disappointed. I just don't get angry about it like I used to. That comes with age, I think. But I found myself getting really upset, and I said to him, like, dude, like, why? I said, I've had plenty of time to come for you and proper grill you. I haven't. Do you know what I mean? I've left you well enough to know. I know what it's like. I've been where you've been. Do you know what I mean? And it's just sort of like, I don't know. Today, the world that we're in today are quite reactionary. Do you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. We have a right to be angry. I wouldn't turn around and say I'm Klopp out. But I'm definitely disappointed in him, and I'm definitely feel like he needs to be open to sort of either change or go back to what was working before. Because it ain't broke. Why are you trying to fix it? But you've let these players play on. You let them get old. Do you know what I mean? Certain people are sprouting greys who didn't have greys before. Do you know what I mean? And refresh. Do you know what I mean? Refresh the team. Why are you letting people like, you know, Thiago were brought in. Thiago said he never learned to run until he came to Liverpool. That's saying something. Do you know what I mean? It's just disappointing, man. It's just disappointing.
So what do you think of this, guys? So Liverpool are looking to buy goalkeeper Robert Zia, is it, to bolster their goalkeeping options? What do people think on that?
Is this the Argentinian fella?
I think so, because you've got to remember Adrian's leaving, and there's rumours that Kelleher might want to leave to get first team football, which I wouldn't blame him. You know,
we need to start playing him in the Prem, Jamie, man. That's what he is. He doesn't want to be just relied upon as a cup goalkeeper. He wants to feel that he's a part of the squad, and he wants to feel that, do you know what, play me in the Prem as well. Because there's some games I'm like, Alisson shouldn't even play. There's a lot of games in the Premier League. You're like, Kelleher's he's equipped enough to play in these games, but we don't do it. We just play Alisson throughout them games. Like I've seen Man City do it a few times where they rest Ederson. They're like, take the night off, bro. I'm like, they're playing against Chelsea the other night, and they rested. It's like us. We wouldn't have rested Alisson against if we had Chelsea. We would make sure we play him. So I think it's more Kelleher wants to be a part of the squad by playing in the Prem, and Klopp needs to find that balance where he plays him as well. Give him enough game time.
He's a German goalkeeper, so he was Neuer's number 2 at the 2014 World Cup. That's all I know about him, really. Yeah, I
I
think
don't
his
know anything
name.
about him. I've got to admit.
Yeah, Robert Zia. Zila. I think that's how you pronounce it. Zila. It sounds more German that way, doesn't it?
Have a
Yeah,
look.
Robert Zila. It's
No.
a bolster their goalkeeping options. Yeah, because Adrian will be leaving, and Kelleher, look, he wants first team football. Can't blame the man. He's a good goalkeeper. So
50 million.
Oh, I know who it is. Oh, yeah.
yeah,
I
so
mean, it's annoying that I think that Klopp. It's obvious Klopp has his favourites, and look, we got in Carvalho and Ramsey in to play, and they've hardly seen ball. Do you know what I mean? And if you look at some of the youth that we've had in the team, people like Kent, I've forgotten the young black striker we had,
Brewster.
I need to begin with a B. I didn't want to bugger up. You know what I mean? People who had potential and decided, you know what I mean, to leave. Do you know what I mean? Like a lot of people are leaving Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? Big bad Liverpool. People want to leave Liverpool. You know what I mean? And so there's got to be stuff going on behind the scenes that obviously we don't know about, but it is worrying. And I feel what's annoyed me, I was really happy when we went up for sale. Then Man United went up for sale. And for some reason, I feel Man United are going to get sold first before we do.
Yeah, I think the two clubs are in slightly different situations because I think FSG recognise they've come to the end of the road in terms of investing enough to be able to compete for the major honours, be it up against Man City and Chelsea, who are big spenders, Newcastle, who will be. And they just think that their projects worked, they've had good success, and they probably just need to move it on. Whereas I think United are probably looking at it thinking we've milked the cow and it's drained so much now, and actually they're in a position of like financial difficulty. And unless they like change the approach, which I don't think they want to do, or they let up some of the some more shares to get investment in or whatever. These are all options I don't think they want to do. So I think they've just accepted their fate and thought, yeah, this is probably just the time to walk away. I'm only going off what I know. That much might not be so true, but I think there's probably more urgency for United to get rid of the club than FSG, because FSG probably is sitting here thinking, we've got it this big. I know we're not playing well at the minute and we might not make Champions League, and that might have a slight impact on finances, but overall, they could hang on to this club for another 2-3 years and they would probably get close to the value they've got at the minute. Fans won't like to hear that. I personally don't want that to be the case. I want this to be, swiftly transferred over quite quickly so we can get the new owners in, understand what their approach is, and understand if they're going to invest in this squad, because we obviously need it. But it's not what FSG need to do. They're not gonna undersell it. They're gonna wait until they get the price that they want, and that might just take time. Because I know the people that want to buy this club are gonna have to be very, very wealthy. But just because these people are very wealthy doesn't mean they're stupid. They're not.
Yeah.
They might have all the money in the world. Buying Liverpool might not break the bank for them, but they're not just going to give away money. They're not going to be taken for a ride. If they come up with a valuation for the club, they'll want it at that. And if FSG and that so-called buyer are at too much of a distant apart in valuation, then it's not going to happen.
And Cav's right with that. And also, when you're a buyer right now and you're looking at Liverpool Football Club, you're thinking, right, they don't make Champions League, right? I can get them at a cheaper price. So why would anyone come in right this second? Because if they come in this second, Liverpool don't make Champions League, they're going to buy a team. If I was looking, so if I'm an investor, I've got billions and billions to spend. I want to buy a football team. Yeah, Liverpool is one of the teams I'm looking at. I've heard FSG are willing to sell. I'm looking at everything wrong with that team right now. I'm looking at it and thinking, right, they want $4 billion for me to buy them. But look at the investment I'm going to have to put into that team right now, and we might not get Champions League football. So I'm going to lose a lot of revenue the following year. Why don't I wait till next season when I can buy them cheaper when they're not in Champions League football, less revenue? And then when I buy them, I can invest, and the money I'm investing in would equal how much I'd buy them originally without, with all the extra costs. So from a buying point of view, you got to think the buyers actually go, wait. So this could actually drag.
Yeah. To add to your point as well, Jeremy, about Champions League football, right? If we think about sports washing and we think about why these investors buy clubs, okay, they have ulterior motives. Sometimes the clubs are their sort of showpiece and they like to sort of flex that they own these clubs and stuff. And sometimes it's just for ulterior motives. And you've seen it with like Ronaldo going to I can't remember what the club's called, but the whole, showmanship of it is up on billboards. He's absolutely everywhere. And the PR around it is incredible. You've got to look at these players that we have now, and you've got to think that they are massively marketable. And so if, say, a Saudi state brought Liverpool, you'd see Mo Salah everywhere and you'd see Virgil everywhere and stuff. And that would be part of the whole buying. It's about their image, right? But as time's going on, I feel like the stock in these players is decreasing. I feel like if we don't get Champions League, it decreases even further because the next sort of stock of players that are coming through, and I think that's partly why Man City got Haaland. It wasn't necessarily, well, it's because of the player he is, but it's also because he's probably the next guy to become, Ballon d'Or winner and things like this. The marketable and PR things that you can get out of these players is huge for these so-called investors and buyers. I just look at our club and think, how much of that kind of thing would you now get out of Virgil? 2-3 years ago, that would have been big, having Virgil plastered everywhere and stuff, up on billboards and everything else, on television screens, in all the media stuff and stuff. I don't know if that's so as big anymore. I think about Salah. I don't think it's as big as it probably was last year or the year before. Bobby the same. Part of the reason why we got Minamino was because of the following he had from where he comes from and things like that. So I do think they'll probably look at the state of the squad and think, what value can I get out of them off the pitch as well as on the pitch? And I think it's decreasing, which isn't a positive thing for us.
No, exactly.
That's my point I was making about getting rid of certain players. All these people have lost their value. Now, we were trying to sell Ox like two and a half seasons ago. Do you know what I mean? I remember seeing 20 million toted around for him. Do you know what I mean? And like now all these people are going on free. Genie, free. Do you know what I mean? When I think about how many people have left on a free here, it's quite unheard of, especially in my years of supporting Liverpool. We've always managed to get as close as valuation for them. And now all these people under Klopp's regime are going for free. So we're not making anything realistically. Do you know what I mean? And someone put in the chat about Shea Ojo. That's another player. Do you know what I mean? Who I really had high hopes for.
Yeah.
What about Misalowski? I haven't heard anything from him. Do you know what I mean? It's just I don't know, man. There's something going on with, and I don't know if it's Klopp. I don't know if it's the what's his face, buddy, Pep. I don't know what's going on. There's something definitely going on behind the scenes.
Do you know what it is, Sadiq? It's the fact that our club has a system. And if you don't fit or mold into that system, they're not going to play you. So, Curtis Jones is a skillful player. Musialski's skillful player. Ben Doak's skillful. These kind of players that play without fear. But the thing is, can they come into the first team and fit into that system? And if they're like, well, we put him in, he doesn't really listen to the instruction because he's a free-spirited player. He just wants to go and do what he wants to do. And we don't have many of those players. Diaz is one of those players. And we moan about, he presses too much or he runs around too much. I'm pretty sure the coaching staff are like, nah, bro, you got to set and then we go as a team. But he's like, nah, I want to go and make things happen. So who knows, man? Who knows? Maybe that's what's going on at the moment while we're not seeing these players get their opportunities.
I think when
I like their
names. Sorry, you go, Sadiq. You go.
No, just saying, I like the look of Doak. No homo. I like the way he presses. I like the way he's got he reminds me of a young Owen. Do you know what I mean? He reminds me of Owen, and I adored Owen. Do you know what I mean? I remember when he broke into the England squad and how happy I was to see him. And when he scored his first goal, like I can remember it like it was yesterday. Do you know what I mean? I was so happy. But then I don't want to get too invested because, as I've seen, these guys end up going. Do you know what I mean? And or get pushed out the team. So it's annoying. And I've got another one turning up. Here we go.
Go for it.
1 second.
I think with the likes of Brewster and Shea Ojo, Harry Wilson, Ryan Kent, Solanke. There's been few. I think that's part and parcel of, having an academy system at your club. There are going to be promising players, and at times as fans can overhype them, and at times managers can, but they're always going to big up their players.
Yeah.
And more often than not, I would say they don't quite reach the level. And what we've got to recognise is the level isn't, just any old team. It's Liverpool that expect to be winning European Cups and Premier Leagues. That's the level, so not everybody's going to make it. And when these guys have moved on, often, we went for a bit of a sweet period whereby we were getting good money for them. I mean, Bournemouth were getting absolutely rinsed at times for some of these players. And I think it's a bit of a shame now that we've not managed to keep that up. I look at some of the youngsters in the squad now, and some of them are either in contention to be in the first team. So you look at like Bisetic, you look at Doak, you look at Elliot Carvalho, and you think, yeah, keep them around because they're their first team contenders. Mm-hmm. Realistically, they probably should be on loan, helping another club out and getting their own experience. But then there's quite a gap before anyone else that's really coming up through the ranks that you'd think, okay, they're not quite going to make it, but we could recoup a bit of a fee for. Yeah, that's just my opinion. But I've looked at some of the guys in the under 21s in the academy and watched them when they played for the first team in the cups and stuff. And I thought, how much could you really recruit for these guys? There's like Bobby Clark, who's like a promising player. I'm like, if you sold him now, how much would you get? And it's not a lot. So I think that's one thing we probably could have done better in the past few years, is maybe look at moving these players on at the right time, or give them loans to get experience to move them on and stuff, because we're not really generating much money from these youngsters, so to speak.
No, you're like, yeah, I mean, the youngsters, there's some youngsters around that, like Ben Doak, as everyone's saying now. The only problem, I just don't want us to put too much pressure on them at the same time. I like Ben Doak. When he came on the other day, look, I think Ben Doak should just stay in the squad now. The situation we got right now, there's no point playing him in the under-23s. Yeah. Now, I know a lot of people were saying Ramsey was injured and that. Ramsey was playing under-23s the other day. He got sent off, didn't he? What's he doing playing in the under-23s for? I don't get it.
Under-18s, wasn't it?
Under-18s, what? He's our number 2 right back. That's what he got bought for.
Needs game time.
He's Trent's understudy. He's our number 2 right back, and he's playing under-18s football. And he got sent off. I mean, it weren't a sending off. Have you seen
No, they weren't.
But it's just like, what are we doing? Why is our second right back? And when he is available, we play James Milner at right back. It's like, I don't get where we're coming from. But Ben Doak, when I see him play, look, Mo, we got a situation with Mo at the moment. I think we're going to have to start discussing quite soon, because I've been saying it for a while. Mo now plays like an out-and-out number 9. But he plays on the right-hand side of an attack, and that's the issue. Mo conserves his energy, which he should, because he's coming to an age now where Salah wants to be in the areas of the pitch with his energy at full for the important parts of the game, which I'm perfectly fine with. He plays like a proper striker. He plays like a number 9. Mo is just about, if Mo gets 2 goals in a game, but his all-round game performance ain't great, in Mo's eyes, he's done his job because he's a goal scorer.
That's how it can seem, yeah.
Yeah, and he's playing on the right. But the problem is he's playing on the right, and if you're playing on the right in a 4-3-3, you've got to do your defensive work, tracking back as well, and cutting out the passing lanes and giving protection. Mo ain't interested in that now. Mo just wants to score goals. So you got a situation there. Do
you think? I know I just joined halfway through, and I was downstairs, so I didn't hear what you guys were chatting about. But just speaking on Mo. We haven't had cover for Mo for like, I can't even go back how long. Like when we was talk about Nkunku coming in, he would have been adequate cover for Mo. Do you know what I mean? Because Mane sort of there's always someone who could like Jota could obviously operate on that side. Do you know what I mean? Obviously Diaz, but like even Nunez now plays on the left. It's like. No one's getting on Mo. We put flipping Elliot, but Elliot's no Mo. Do you know what I mean? Not even close. It's just like, why they're afraid. It's almost like they're afraid to take Mo off the pitch. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, or buy someone to challenge him.
It's been done. Klopp has took him off. He has took him off.
Rarely.
Game. It has been rare. It happened a few times last season, and it was a bit of a statement when he did, and then he proceeded to do it a few more times. I'm trying to remember, and off memory, I can't recall whether that was to sort of give him a kick up the arse or whether that was just to retain fitness. Don't know, but let's face it, guys, we're in a position whereby we don't have options, do we? And that's the upsetting thing is. I said this last night on another stream. I said Mo's getting the goals and he's getting assists, so this is unwarranted sort of criticism. But I watched
Mo's doing his job. Mo, if you look at the way Mo wants to play, and Cav's right. If you look at the way Mo's playing, Mo in his feelings right now, he's doing his job. If Mo gets a goal in a game, Mo's like, I've done my job because I've scored a goal. I am basically the striker, but I'm playing right wing, and us as fans are like. But the problem is, you're not doing enough at right wing. This is the issue. But Mo's like, no, if I get 1 or 2 goals in a game, but the rest of my game is like I barely touch the ball or anything. In his eyes, he's done his job, as Cav's saying as well.
This comes back to the argument, doesn't it, of whether you want a player that's like a Nunez that gives you absolutely everything for 90 minutes, or you want the guy that gets the goals and assists. Now, at this moment in time, because we're not playing well, I think, for me personally, I'm leaning towards I'd rather have people that are just leaving it all out on the pitch. They might not be necessarily clinical. They might not be great finishers, great creators. But I feel like if you've got guys that, if a starting 11 matched Nunez's energy, I feel like you won't be sitting 6th in the league. You know, I feel like you'd get results, you'd see out games and you'd score goals and you'd create chances. But then there's the argument to say, well, you need guys that get goals. You need guys that do it in the moments that count, which is inside the 18-yard box and the 6-yard box, the guys that actually pull it in the back of the net. And that is Mo. So I feel unfair criticizing him, but I just say what I see. And often I watch a game and I'm like, the attacks are terrible. And then I'm like, okay, well, who should be influencing it? Who should be improving this? And then I look across the pitch and I'm like, well, there's Mo Salah. He is there. You know, people were calling him world class last year, myself included. People were saying he's the best right winger in football and that he's, you know, highest paid player in the club's history. I'm like, you are playing. Like, you could pick up the ball and just try and make something happen instead of just waiting for the opportunity to present itself to you. You know, and that's where that's a statement that applies to everybody, by the way. Not just Mo, but I do look at him and I do sometimes think, look, if you're going to take the big paycheck, and let's not forget, we pretty much spent all of last season, you know, on Twitter all the time, talking on podcasts, is Mo going to sign? Is Mo going to sign? Let's not forget this went on for months about whether Mo was going to sign this contract. And then he signed, and I don't think he's played as well.
He hasn't. But I'll sort of caveat onto that. And there's a bit of a gripe with Mo, but I hope it'll make sense. So since the first Champions League final that we lost to Real Madrid, and Mo got that injury, and up until then, you know, Mo had broken all these records. He was unplayable at times, sensational. And we've had glimpses of that. But I just feel that since that injury, or that I don't know, that jolt to his reality, so to speak, I don't think he's been the same man. I feel that he's sometimes playing within himself. And I said, we see glimpses. But I know it was his breakout season, but if you think back to that season, him down that right, him running down that wing, he would take on his man. He would, you don't know what was coming next with Mo, and he would just make a goal out of nothing. There's been times since then I've seen him pretty much do what he's done before, but the end product has been lacking, or he overthinks, or he doesn't do the passes. Do you know what I mean? Remember when Mane got really frustrated with him, and like he couldn't be contained, like James Milner was trying to, and Mane's like, no, man, fuck it. We don't know what he was saying. Do you know what I mean? But I would never see Mane like that. Do you know what I mean? And we all know he was pissed off at Salah because Salah weren't passing. Do you know what I mean? There's been plenty of times this season where I've seen Nunez be in a position and I'm like, Salah, just pass, and he doesn't pass. And I find it really frustrating with Mo. And I've seen him in positions where I feel like he's going to score, and he doesn't. He will take on a man, and then he'll decide to change direction where he could have either had a shot or made a pass. And it's just like, I feel like he's sort of playing within himself. But I've been watching him. quite closely over the last few years, and I just feel like, and I've got my mates who support me in this argument because we've all had the same argument, that since that Ramos did him dirty like that, I feel like he hasn't been the same. That's just my feeling on it. Don't know if you guys agree.
No. I mean, I understand what you're saying. I mean, when that first season, he was probably the most devastating player in world football, you could argue. You know, his pace, his dribbling, But I think what Mo's done, I think Mo realises that he ain't that player now because of that shoulder. But he's adapted his game to be something completely different, ain't he? And this is what I keep saying. Mo is a goal scorer. Just look at what he creates. I mean, his stats are ridiculous. I think he went under the radar the other day. He came out 6th all-time goal scorer the other day, taking over Dalglish's record by a goal.
Well, this is what upsets me as well, Jay.
The stats are mad.
And this is what upsets me
He's a goal scorer.
We're speaking like this, or I'm speaking like this, and I have no right to speak about this because Mo gets the goals and assists, and I'm always going to lose that argument, right? Because that is the most important thing. The aim of the game is to score more goals than the I see across 9 minutes, and I want more from him. But I hate speaking like that on a guy that is a legend at this club. And to be fair, most of the players in this team are starting 11. If we had to put one together this season, would be legends of the club because of what they've brought us. And it feels that's what hurts, is that you're watching these guys on the pitch and you can't often think, are they even trying? You know, and then you criticize them and you kind of think, I hate how we've been on that high and now we are where we are. But also, these are the guys that got us on that high. These are the guys that got us there. And it's sad to see that they're just not doing it anymore. You know, you'd want, in a perfect world, you'd want like the signings to come in and take the pressure off of them, and then they slowly, you know, fade out of the club and leave one by one, and they have a happy ending to their Liverpool journey. But it seems like at the minute that a lot of these players, and I include Virgil in this, not Alisson because he's shown no signs of it, but I include, you know, Matip, Virgil, maybe Robbo, Fabinho definitely, Henderson, you know, these guys, Bobby maybe, although he's had a good season for, they're probably going to end up leaving this club with us just meandering around 7th, 8th, 6th position, and us looking at them with a bit of recency bias going, oh, yeah, they've not done very well. They've let us down. We're Liverpool. We should be going for titles. We should be in the top 4 at least. And it's going to not overshadow, but I think I don't want people to sort of forget what they've done for us is what I'm trying to say. And it seems sad that we're seeing them underperform at this moment in time.
No, never that. I mean, like, I just had a quick look in the chat and I just seen people saying like, stop hating on Mo. And I said, for me, not hating on Mo. I'm not hating on Mo at all. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, great advocate for Liverpool, great professional. You don't hear anything bad about him in the papers or the media. Do you know what I mean? He's a lovely guy, very charitable, very giving, and that's what you want. You want to, you know, you see him go to the gym, you see him training always. You know what I mean? He's probably one of the first one there, the last ones to leave. I'm not hating on Mo, but as a Liverpool fan, I've been a Liverpool fan for almost 40 years. I've seen them all come, I've seen them all go. Do you know what I mean? And with this platform, I'm allowed to criticize. I'm allowed to say I want more from you, or you're not doing enough. Do you know what I mean? And that's all it is. Because at the end of the day, no one's bigger than the club. We all here, majority of us are here. 'Cause I know you get people who are just flipping trolls, supporting Liverpool FC. Do you know what I mean? We all want the best for the club. Do you know what I mean? So that's all we're here criticizing, saying we want the best for our club. And again, I would like more from Mo, but again, he's a human being. He's going to have off days. You know what I mean? Just like people who are slandering Nunez. Like, I love Nunez. And here we go again.
Well, what we're going to do, Sadiq? I'll put Sadiq on the background. Let's get Bruno in, whoever he's say, because I know Bruno's got a lot to say. Big up, Bruno.
Hello.
How you doing, mate?
Now, John W. Henry is really starting to piss me off. This guy is really starting to get under my skin. The amount of hate I have for this guy is ridiculously high. I want this guy to just take the money and go. I'm hearing reports that he's made apparently £270 million deal has been made. Like I told you on Friday, this guy has got to go. I told you last week, this isn't the Olympics where you finish third, you finish second, and you finish first place and you get medals. We're not Tottenham. We are not Tottenham Hotspur. We are not that team over there in North London who accept finishing second place and saying that and go over to you don't go over to Mark Goldbridge or flipping Troops and go, oh, Liverpool have finished in the top four, hooray! Yeah, we finished second place. That's not good enough. Like I told you last time, second place is diarrhea, right? Third place, diarrhea, horse poo, right? Elephant's poo. We don't celebrate second place over here, right? I want the club sold by the 22nd of April. I want this guy to be on the phone to different owners, different companies, and asking questions. The first question, I said this on Coppish TV. I think you've been on the Coppish TV several times. Are you going to put club success first? Secondly, are you going to make sure the club is run well? And thirdly, have you done anything that may damage Liverpool's reputation? If you have done something that may damage Liverpool's reputation, out the door. Don't even bother considering the offer. If they don't put the club success first, that's another. If they say no to that, you're out the door. If they don't run the club well, they'll run it like Kicks and Gillette, you're out the door. Bye-bye, good night, Vienna. If they say yes to the first question, the second question, and no to the third one, accept it. I'm hearing people telling me that it's going to take 9 months. 9 months, my ass. This isn't pregnancy. We're not pregnant. Okay, we're not having twins. We're not having triplets, like I said on Coppish TV. We're not having triplets, right? This isn't pregnancy, right? I'm hearing people saying it's going to take 2 years. Look how quickly Chelsea was sold. That was done like, look how quickly Newcastle was sold. And that was done quickly. Come on, I want this done quickly. Like we're in January. We need a midfielder. The game against Wolves was dead. It was absolutely dead. It was spineless. It was whatless. We're 2-1 up, and you can't even hold on to the lead. What a spineless. The bench was weak. It was a weak bench, right? I saw a picture of Klopp wearing a New York Yankees cap on his head. Apparently, FSG John W. Henry's pissed off about it. Well, if he's pissed off about it, do something. How about you get your wallet out of your back pocket and you give him 200 million right now? I don't want to hear, we can't afford it because of the coronavirus. I've told you last time, the coronavirus, my ass. The coronavirus, my ass. We are the second biggest club in England. We are not Derby County. We're not Portsmouth. We're not Wrexham. We're not Millwall. We're not Stockport. We're not Newport County. We are Liverpool Football Club, right? That guy from flipping Benfica, what's his name? Fernandes, right? 120 million euros. That's peanuts. That's pocket change. We're the second biggest club in England. Get it done. Oh, I'm hearing reports of, we're going to have to sell one of them. If you want to sell, Naby Keita, gone. Get out of it. Oxlade-Chamberlain, get out of it. Gone. James Milner, thanks for your time. You've done good things for us, but unfortunately, get out of it. Gone. Right? Jordan Henderson, thanks for your time. I know you've done some good things. Get out of it. Gone. A lot of people in the comments will be saying, but if we sell them, we're going to have to do this whole... Nah, that's called being sentimental. You get rid of those players. You don't keep them until 2058. We are not Tottenham Hotspur, who, by the way, haven't won a title, haven't won a trophy since Rihanna's Good Girl Gone Bad album in 2008. Yeah,
some remember it.
Huh?
I love the fact, Bruno, that you pinpointed the Rihanna album when the last time
Good Girl Gone Bad days. Yeah.
Never heard of Rihanna brought into a Liverpool conversation before. Classic.
Yeah. Since Tottenham, who haven't won a trophy since Kerry Hilson's return of favour. Yeah? If you know that song, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Since Madonna sang a song back in 2008, since T-Mobile, since that old Nokia phone, since that old plastic Nokia phone that you had where you had that snake game. I could go on and on. Technology has changed since then. We've gone from 3G to flipping 5G. Yeah?
Bruno, can I ask you a question? Do you support Liverpool or do you support Spurs?
No, I'm a Liverpool fan, but I'm making. I know because Tottenham fans are going to come for me. Well, guess what? Right? Because I'm a Liverpool fan. No Tottenham fan can banter me because your banter's dead.
I'm a bit confused, Bruno, because you've said we're not Tottenham, right? And we're not Tottenham, so we should get rid of players and sign some new ones. So that's exactly what Tottenham did. And look, and now you criticise.
No, I mean, when I say we're not Tottenham, as in their fans accept second place. Yeah, they finish second place and they sit there partying as if they've won a trophy. They finish third place or fourth place, and they go over to their mates who support Man United or Arsenal, and they go, "Oh, we finished in the top four. We finished in the top four. Finishing in the top four. What have you won a trophy?" If you went and did that to Mark Goldbridge or flipping Terry from the Football Terrace or flipping Sophie from Chelsea Fan TV, they would banter you. They will literally banter you. They'll be like, "Okay, what have you won? What did you win a trophy?" Like, we've been bantering flipping Everton for years and years. That's like us going to Everton. Oh, we finished third. That's dead. That's like us going to Man United. We finished third place. That's not good enough. I mean, sorry, but the stands of this club is ridiculous. I'm seeing so many reports of, "Oh, we've linked with this owner. We're going to actually get it done. Oh, we're going to have to wait until the summer." Wait until the summer to bring in a player? No, you're bringing a player in January right now. You bought in Gakpo for 44 million pounds. That's pocket change. That's pocket change. I want to see an owner with ambition. I want an owner to come in and show a bit of ambition at this club. Right?
Bruno, where do you read these reports?
I've got a site that I use called Liverpool News Now, right? Okay. And it basically shows every article and every article that has been, right? And that's where I read these articles, right? Okay. And then I go on Twitter as well. And the first thing I think, I wake up every morning and I see if there's any updates. And all I get is these pathetic excuses. I have a feeling that John W. Henry is the one that's putting these pathetic updates on Twitter and on the internet.
No, but Bruno, 1 second, mate. 1 second, Bruno. At the same time, you're blaming the owners, but wouldn't you blame Klopp because players have been offered to him and he's turned them down?
I said it last week. Klopp isn't God. I told Jamie last week. Klopp is not God as well. He's part of the problem. He isn't God. Our fan base act like this guy is God. He isn't God. He can be criticised and he can be questioned. He isn't God.
Bruno, you're one of them guys that just deletes his team on FIFA, don't you, and just starts again. He just delete club settings every time something goes wrong. Just FIFA. Everyone gone. Don't
you know
around
what?
trying to make
you know
this
what?
work.
I get Bruno's frustration. I get it. And back in the day, as I said, that probably would have been me in my younger days. But one of the things I wanted to say or add or caveat onto that is the thing with Chelsea. Chelsea needs to get sold ASAP because they would have been made into registration. They need to get sold ASAP. Otherwise, do you know what I mean? God knows what would have happened to Chelsea. And I'm glad that they got sold. Newcastle, I can't really talk about. Do you know what I mean? The funny thing, at least for me, I can only speak for myself. As a Liverpool fan, I'm not worried about Chelsea doing. I'm not worried about Newcastle doing. Do you know what I mean? Like the only team I've been keeping an eye on as a fan is Man City because those were the team most likely to sort of stop us from getting a crown. Without Man City, we would have won the Premier League a few times by now. Do you know what I mean? Right, so that's the only team I've really been sort of keeping an eye on. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I hear about Chelsea and I hear about Newcastle, but I'm not really bothered about it. And Tottenham, well, apart from how old is Sadiq? I'm 47, mate. For the person just asked.
Yeah,
So
well, I don't know why everyone's asking Sadiq's age.
I don't know. I'm just reading the chat. But anyway, I think because I said I supported Liverpool for 40 years, so yeah.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Or almost 40 years.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a long. Yeah, so that's a long time. And look, most of you ain't even that age yet. Yeah, do you know what I mean? I know Jamie, but like, you know, that's a long time. So I've experienced a lot of pain, a lot of suffering, a lot of banter. Do you know what I mean? And as I said, either get humble, you get humiliated. But what I wanted to say, just quickly, and I end it on this, is that as a Liverpool fan, a Liverpool supporter of this glorious and wonderful club, do you know what I mean? John Barnes is the reason why I support Liverpool. You know, being half Jamaican myself, seeing a black man of Jamaican heritage play for this team, I just, you know, instantly connected. I'm 48 this year, Lee.
My hero.
Yeah, and but the thing is with the owners, and I agree with what Enz was saying. I can't blame the owners fully. The owners can only do so much. Klopp could have got Nkunku. Klopp could have got a number of players. Martinez wanted to come to Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? He was waiting for Liverpool to come, and Liverpool didn't come, and then Wolves came in for him. So it's like, you know, I remember when Lacazette was playing for Lyon, and he looked like a player. Do you know what I mean? He looked like a player, and obviously he came to Arsenal, and what happened happened. Do you know what I mean? But as a sort of like, I don't think Liverpool have been really taking the urgency enough to strike. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like the same with the Diaz situation. When another club is interested and about to pull the trigger, that's when Liverpool sort of say, no, we'll have that. Do you know what I mean? I'm not seeing us just going being ruthless like we were when we sold Coutinho and went and got the Van Dijk and went and got the Alisson. We haven't been ruthless in the transfer market, realistically. You know, so there's emphasis on the owners, but there's also emphasis on Klopp and on Pep. Do you know what I mean? I can't sit there until I have the facts, until I have a conversation with Klopp and Pep, which ain't going to happen. I'm never going to know the facts, so I can only speculate. And speculation is not really a good place to sort of form any sort of argument.
Sadiq, can I ask you a question quickly? Sorry, Bruno. Go on, Bruno. Go on, mate.
Right, Pep Linders. I've said it on Coppish TV. I will say it again. This guy needs to burn the book. He needs to grab a match and needs to burn it in flames. Instead, in fact, I'll go one further. This guy needs to resign. This guy needs to resign. He needs to burn this book of his, and he needs to resign.
Bruno, why does he need to resign?
Why in the name of garbage? Please explain to me why in the name of garbage is this guy releasing books about how we play on the pitch? What in the name of garbage is he doing?
The book doesn't explain how we play on the pitch.
No, Bruno, have you read the book?
I've not read the book, but you don't do that.
It was in a report, wasn't it?
It's not. I've seen his cover of the book. I've seen the cover of the book.
Bruno,
okay.
It don't actually say anything in the book.
Nah, Jay,
about how we play.
The cover's enough.
What it is, to be fair, Bruno, I think every football coach in the world knows how Liverpool play right now. I don't think a book is going to tell anyone. It actually doesn't say anything, but it is basically Pep Linders talking about the 12 to 24 months we had previously. And it's just a book, man. Don't read too deep, Bruno. Don't read too deep into it, man. It's just a book, my friend. It's just a book.
This season reminds me of 14-15 season. And I have some very bad memories of that season, you know. The last game, I won't even mention it. That game, the last game of that season was very bad. That was Steven Gerrard's last season, if I remember correctly. I've got some very nasty memories of that season.
You seem scarred, Bruno.
You show Liverpool, bro.
I've got memories that I want to just Yeah, star for life. You can
Bruno's doing that. I've been through shit. kind of thing.
This guy, he bought us for.
Yeah, but as Liverpool fans, we all have though, haven't we? We've all been through shit. We all remember the slip. We've all, do you know what I mean? We've been the almost team how many times? Do you know what I mean? Like the banter I used to get, especially from Man United fans. Do you know what I mean? Like is unreal. So I understand his frustration. I understand where he's coming from. And the thing is with me, I try to deal with facts and I try to deal with solutions. Do you know what I mean? We're sitting here debating and talking about this sort of stuff, but none of us have got the power to actually change it. Do you know what I mean? Because we could, we would. Do you know what I mean? And that's where the debates can get out of hand, because we just have to have faith that, and as Indian Scouts have just put, you know what I mean? You never walk alone. Do you know what I mean? Like we're in this to get our frustration out of ourselves. Do you know what I mean? And hopefully watch our team play and hopefully put it together. Do you know what I mean? And you know, like I usually love the summer and the January transfer to see, you know, new players and new potential but buyers. Do you know what I mean? And like I had really high hopes for Carvalho. Do you know what I mean? But it hasn't happened yet. Do you know what I mean? And I'm quite concerned to see if it will. Do you know what I mean? Will it be another escapade where potentially we buy someone and it doesn't work out and we have to ship them off next season? I don't know. Do you know what I mean? But potentially it looks good, but you know, he's a number 10 and we don't play with a number 10. So it's just sort of like, well, why did he buy him? Do you know what I mean? It's like, you know, square pegs for circular holes. Do you know what I mean? It's just weird.
So Sadiq, sorry, there, Cav, 1 sec. So Sadiq, your point said we don't have power yet in terms of the fan base. I actually think we have a lot of power. I just think we don't use it in the right moments. So if the fan base came together and decided we're not going to watch a Liverpool game until the owners go out, I guarantee they'll sell Liverpool Football Club the next day. But we don't do it. We just rather come on and speak about it. And then the other point I wanted to just quickly ask you before I forget, who do you blame? And you, in terms of from Klopp to Pep to the owners, but you can't say you can't blame two. So if you had to choose one, who would you blame the most?
Being honest, and I just seen in the chat someone telling me, I wish you'd stop saying, do you know what I mean? Well, do you know what I mean? I'll put the blame. I'll put. If
right,
I'm gonna
guys,
be honest
let me just say this first, right? About everyone in chat. If anyone's on the panel, guys, just, you know, if you just keep your thoughts to yourself if you ain't got nothing nice to say. Yeah, you know, everyone's like Sadiq's a guest on the show. You know, just treat everyone nicely, man. Just treat everyone nicely, yeah.
Exactly.
No, bless, thanks, Jamie.
It comes with the territory there, Sadiq. No, it comes with the territory, man. That's
nothing silly. Otherwise, you'll be banned. Nothing.
But it's like the youth today keep on saying calm. Like I don't even know what calm meant for a long time. I had to ask people like, what's calming? Do you know what I mean? Because you keep on using it. But anyway, yeah.
I don't know what gaslighting means either. Everyone keeps telling me on gaslighting.
Oh, gaslighting, I know what that means.
I don't know.
It's crazy that you know what that one.
I'll explain to you on. I'll explain to you on Twitter. I'll leave your voice note or something. So basically, for me, I really feel to say, do you know what I mean? Just to annoy that person again. But anyway, just how I talk. For me, I think Pep seems to be a scapegoat. Pep seems to be a scapegoat, right? At the moment, and I was leaning towards Pep, but I'm gonna blame Klopp. Because I think when he's under stress, he says a lot. He's emotional, which is why we love him. Do you know what I mean? He's emotional, and I could see him. Do you know what I mean? Getting angry and being frustrated with things. And I feel Klopp's to blame.
Cool. No, I just wanted to know.
I'm saying that with a heavy heart.
No, the only reason why I asked Sadiq is because every time I speak to people, they always say it's Klopp and Pep, or it's Pep and Klopp, or Klopp and the owners. It's like everyone's scared to kind of say, well, Klopp is the one who picks the team. He organizes the team. He picks the tactics. He does the starting lineup. The owners don't even turn up in the stadium, bro. Much less pick the team. So
No,
I don't
no, for real.
understand how they get blamed when we lose a game of football.
Well, as I said, it was between
Madness,
Klopp
man.
and Pep. But I was thinking, yeah, Pep's just been sort of being thrown on the bus at the moment a lot recently, and no one's really touching on Klopp. And I just think, like as you mentioned, Klopp picks the team. Klopp, you know what I mean, does the tactics. So realistically, it falls on him. Do you know what I mean?
Manager, bro.
Yeah, but like I said, Klopp isn't God, you know. This guy sits there using the same tactics. He sits there playing the high line, and then he sits there, does the tactical. We're not flicking the ball long like we're flipping Stoke City. We're not Stoke. We're not flipping West Brom. We're flipping Sam Allardyce or flipping Sean Dyche or flipping. Like, this isn't 2009 Stoke City. Like, you've got flipping Peter Odom-Wingy and flipping Peter Crouch or flipping Darren Beck. Like, what in the name of garbage is this? Like, it's just dead. Change
Bruno.
the high line. It's got to go. It doesn't work. The 4-3-3. Change the flipping formation, man. He isn't God. I told you this on the on the Coppish TV. Go and check the videos as proof. I've got the receipts.
Oh,
right?
I saw it.
Like, it's not good enough. And for those fans, FSG in fanboys, here's a message to you lot, right? If you lot love FSG to pieces, right? You lot are the reason this guy's still here. Because if you lot were FSG out, this guy would be out by now. Right? One title, 13 years. I want to see doubles. I want to see trebles. I want to see quadruplets. I want to see Man United fans pissed off and annoyed. I want to see that. Don't give a rat's ass. That's their turn a bit.
Bruno, my man. You are man of the match, right? We love you, Bruno. We're going to have to let you go now, though, because I'm going to wind this show up now. But big up, Bruno. Thank you very much, my man.
Cheers, Bruno.
Right.
I just saw it in the chat.
Guys,
I'm
can you
not going to call out their name.
Just give me 2
He said
seconds.
Sorry. Okay. I just saw someone in the chat saying it's stupid to blame Klopp. And I feel like, I'm not going to name like your name, but people can see it in the chat. Why is it stupid to blame Klopp? When he's the manager, he's the one that makes the decision. He has the final say. Do you know what I mean? I feel it would be stupid to blame Pep because Klopp has to be the one to authorize it. Do you know what I mean? It's like if I order something to work, right? And I'm as a supervisor, I'm the final person to authorize it. Do you know what I mean? And if I keep on authorizing the wrong things to work, then who's to blame? The person who put through the order or the person authorizing it?
Yeah,
it's the person authorizing it. So
no, you're right.
Yeah.
Man.
Listen, Sadiq,
right.
now I've mentioned it to you, mate. Just keep an eye on it. Watch now. You're going to see everyone does it. Everyone does it. They always say Klopp or this man and the owners.
I've already seen it.
I want to get to this message. I think what Cav laughed. Imagine a world where Bruno and John have got a joint channel.
Honestly, the chat just one word.
Who's John?
John Moore. You see him on copy sometimes, isn't it? He's on the
I think
John.
Oh, that would make.
Love to John. Love to Bruno as well. I love Bruno, man.
Yeah, to Bruno, man.
The man is great, and I try to keep my composure the best I could there. But
the funny thing is, what I've learned
through
doing these pods is when I've thought someone said something that I don't necessarily agree with, and I've like totally disagreed. There's been a few things that have come back to bite me, and I've gone, you know what? Yeah, they had a point. So often, well, not often, but I don't agree with a lot of points Bruno made. But that's not to say he's wrong and I'm right. They might, he might have some.
Yeah, exactly. Bruno. There were some things actually Bruno was saying. I was like, yeah, he's right. He's right. And then
no one asked me why the 22nd.
Some things are just Bruno's. The 22nd or whatever of April that he clubbed up. I don't know if he's got a bet on that day because he said it twice. Bruno, if you're in the chat, if you're in the live chat, can you just let us know? Have you got a bet? Or do you know something we don't? Because you keep bringing up that day and I'm not sure why, man. It's a really random day.
World comes to an end from
So just quickly, the same person who called me out is saying I'm putting my opinion on people when that's wrong. I was asked a question, my friend. So I was answering the question.
I
all
see
right?
it comes with the territory. Don't worry about the man living in.
I can't ask a question. What do you do when someone asks you a question? You answer it. I don't know.
Guys, be nice in the
Might call me
live chat.
Carlton in the comments as well, bro. I'll take you on the chin and move forward in life, bro. It's all right. I see you, Egyptian King.
Yeah.
But man,
I'm sick of people calling me like all sorts of things. They don't.
Oh, what is it? I'll call you Cav. Hang on, I've got a picture.
Oh no, bro!
I've got a picture of Cav right here. There you go.
What is this? Nah, that's it. Do you know what? I thought that is the worst one yet. That is the worst one yet. I've been called. We're getting Central C. I've been called.
Lastly, to the person again who's saying I'm creating a toxic environment, bruv, I'm a 47-year-old black man living in London, bruv. Don't talk to me about toxic environments, bruv. All right? Okay,
there you go. Yeah, exactly. There you go. No, guys.
Bruno for Prime Minister. No.
Oh, poor Cav. It's ruined now. Ruined.
How long have you been waiting to unleash that one anyway? You seem way too prepared for that.
I think we did this on an After Dark program episode ages ago.
Maybe. Should we just do a show where we just all find everyone's
just take the piss out of each other? Yeah.
Oh, man.
You can't do it with your friends. You can
Internet,
do it with
bro, the internet.
The internet's a mad thing, but yeah, that is just Oh, guys, right? Yeah, should we get Bruno on After Dark? Should we?
That's you, Jamie, bro. That's you. That's what you want to do.
That podcast is mad. I love Bruno. How dare you, Jamie?
Do you know what, though, boys? Bruno. I'm pleased we can laugh. Bruno, you have made us laugh, and
yeah, man.
You know what? We come on these pods and we talk about Liverpool, and there's not much to smile about at the minute. So the fact that we're laughing, well done, mate. Fair play.
Big up, Bruno. Bruno, look, you called her a day. Big up to Bruno. Much love to him. I want to hear from him every single week. Bruno, I want to hear from you every single week. But you've got to change it up a little bit. I don't want the same lines time and time again.
It's got
I want you to change it up a little bit, man. I want to let you change it up.
He really doesn't like Spurs.
He's got to think about Spurs.
It's a random team to dislike.
Do you know what I just realised? Is certain people who come in the chat, and again, this is why I don't really operate too much with the chat, but having a little look. At no point have I said or put out, I won't Klopp out.
No,
yeah, I just want to make that clear. Do you know what I mean? I'm just saying, just like I turned around and said I was unhappy with Mo, I didn't say I want Mo out of the club. Do you know what I mean? I'm expressing an opinion, and I'm entitled to an opinion, just like you're entitled to your opinion. If you don't like me, that's cool. If you like me, that's also cool. You're welcome to your opinion. Opinions are like assholes. Everyone has them. Unless you don't.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just some kind because you're some weird freak. You ain't got an arsehole. Yeah, so just ignore him. So unfortunately, even if I get called out all the time by stuff, I just you learn to ignore it eventually. You learn to ignore. I haven't even seen it on the chat, so I don't know why it's not coming on the StreamYard chat. It must be on the YouTube chat.
He's been coming for me all day, bro.
He's been coming for you. He's been coming for you.
Yeah. Boys.
Right, we're going to leave it there, though, guys. All right. We're going to leave it there anyway. We're going to finish, guys. So, guys, thank you very much for joining us today. Great show, as always. I'll be back again at 12:30 tomorrow afternoon talking about this Qatari takeover or whatever it is they're talking about. I'm going to look into more of it. But that's tomorrow afternoon at 12:30, guys. So make sure you join me then. To Cav and Sadiq and to man of the match Bruno as well. Big up to everyone. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me, guys. Take care.